Hi everybody, I'm Miss Spradling and I'm doing this video for both Mrs. Robinson's classes and my classes. So I'm outside before it started to rain because I'm going to talk about week 3 and what we've got coming up this week so you'll know what we're going to do. So one of the first things that we're going to do is you're going to do a Google slide with that picture that you took last week where we're talking about competition among organisms. And remember, organisms are not just living animals, they could be plants. So back here I've got a group of trees, and these trees are competing for space, for the nutrients in the soil to go up. Their limbs will change directions to compete for sunlight. And they also depend on all those things in order to live. And if they don't have those things, they obviously will die. So you also, I can hear some, oh, I think I've got my dog going to the restroom. That's a necessity of life too. I'm going to use my dog Scout and Bentley in just a bit for an explanation. You can hear birds. They're also depending on insects for food, water, and they're depending on other organisms like trees to build their nests in space. And they've also got to get away from predators. So that's what we're going to do first, and then we're going to do some readings and watch some videos where we look at short and long-term environmental changes and how organisms have to adapt to those changes, and if they don't, then they could die. And we're talking about an organism. We're not talking about one organism can adapt itself. We're talking about that population. And so in 7th grade, you learned about genetics, brief genetics, and different traits. They're all found in the DNA in the cell's nucleus, and that controls what the organism's going to be like. So, Scout, come here. I've got 2 doggies here. Come here, Bentley. Come. They're looking at me like crazy. All right, come here, Scouty. So here's one of my hound doggies, Scout, and she's a black lab. Come here, Bentley. Bentley, come. Come. Good girl. Come here. Let's look at your traits. And she's also a lab, but she's white. So we're going to talk about some of their characteristics that might be different. So Bentley, because she's white, when she's out in the sun, her white fur reflects a lot of the radiant energy. Where Scout, because she's black, her coat absorbs most of it. So in the wintertime, Bentley needs to stay really warm. So her hair gets really long and really thick. I've just had her cut. Well, now we've had an environmental change. We've had spring start and it's getting really hot. Well, she needs to get rid of that coat, and look at all of this fur. She sheds like crazy because now she needs to take care of being in the warmer temperatures and not get too hot. Scout's fur pretty much stays the same. She'll shed a little bit right now, but not a whole lot. And she's set up, see, she doesn't have much fur coming off, but she likes to get, oh, there we go. She likes to get in the water, which helps her cool off. So these guys don't have to compete for much except for our attention. And we provide all their food, their shelter, and their water. But if they were in nature, dogs, Scout would definitely have an advantage because Bentley here, her hips are bad and she can't run really fast, where this one right here, she's quick as lightning. Poor Bentley also, if she had to go hunt things in water, her paws are not as webbed as Scout. Scout's a great swimmer, so if she had to go across water to get her food when she was competing for that, Bentley wouldn't either. So Bentley, knowing that she needs those things, she just can't go out and get her hair dyed or change her feet. Unfortunately, in nature, if we didn't provide those things, she would not survive. She would probably die out and wouldn't be able to reproduce. But little Scouty here, Scout would be able to survive. Her traits would be passed on, and what do you think her offspring would look like? They would all be black. So when we talk about an animal adapting this week, it's not the individual organism, it's what their offspring, their populations later would be like. So anyway, I hope that gives you a little insight on what we're going to be doing today. And if an environment changes, how are those organisms' populations going to adapt? So you'll do a reading, you'll then watch another video where you're going to take some notes, and you'll be able to use those notes this week to answer your questions. So don't forget, if you need Mrs. Robinson or myself for anything, we're going to have some Zoom tutorials that will be in the list and lineup that we're going to be doing this week. So look at those and check in with us. You can send us messages and we're here to help. We miss you and can't wait till we get together, hopefully in the middle of May. Bye.